feel your feet on the floor. You attend to the weight of your body on the chair. You connect with the listening, just the sound. And all we're doing is coming into the present moment. And I remember sitting there, this is some 40 years ago, I still remember the moment, and saying, this is right. This is both practical and true, that there's something special in the present moment. And of course that is now much more generally recognized. Mm-hmm. They introduced us to mantra meditation as part of this school, which I've practiced again twice a day for all these years.
Okay.
And it's an integral part of one's life. And so you begin to see the balance between stillness, presence, and then activity. And you find quite naturally that the more still you become, the more rested, the more energetic you can become. So again, that balance.
Right.
So in this school, there were different groups. So the artists got together and said, how do you apply this principles? The teachers, the economists, the lawyers, and then there's a group of us that started philosophy and business. A group, we started running little courses, seminars, and the common question was, can I really put into practice fine principles in business and still succeed? That was a big question. It kept coming.
Right.
And it's a very good question, isn't it?
Absolutely, very valid.
And most people would say, no, you've got to, do what you have to do to make the business. But that wasn't my experience, nor from, and you were saying before about if I experience something, then you understand it, and then you can teach it.
Right. And that's more or less not wanting to stereotype things, but it's an Eastern context where you say, after you experience it, then you understand and say, aha, so that's what it is. Whereas in the West, the whole principle of saying, first I need to understand, and then I might want to experience it.
Yes. In fact, that's a very important point, because philosophy in the West has become an intellectual exercise. It's not even considered, when you talk about the practice of it, that's something else, you see. So, but one other interesting aspect that came to me in this school, East and West, the balance, the bridge, this Swami Vivekananda, this great teacher from India, observed, having been in the West, he said, in the West, your societies are free and open. But your religious traditions are fixed and rigid. So Islam and Christianity and Judaism, I'm right, you're wrong. Don't cross the line. And I even saw this within Christianity. If you're a Catholic, that's one thing. If you're a Methodist, then... So, in the East, he then said, in the East, we're more inclusive. You have your way, I have mine. But our societies have become too fixed and rigid. But what's happening now is this interchange.
Right.
And so I found in studying Eastern philosophy and spiritual tradition, it was more embracing. It was opening up. And so I was becoming more inclusive, if you will.
Right. One of the challenges of philosophy is, and especially when you say it's an Eastern philosophy or a Western philosophy, the philosophy might be Eastern, but it's only a philosophy. It's very seldom nowadays linked to lives, because lives are functions of so many other influences.
Yes.
And philosophy is always a quiet but deep influence. And who has the time to really plumb those depths and reach there?
Well, and it's agreed, if you think of it as an academic subject, to go into that kind of depth and all the arguments. But if you look at the word philosophy, it means love of wisdom.
Absolutely.
Love of wisdom, philosophy. Now, the point is, wisdom means not just the knowledge, it means the understanding through experience, through the nature of one's being.
And becoming it,
And becoming it,
Absolutely.
Exactly, the nature of one's being, becoming it. So, this philosophy, this inclusive, it takes the, and we were the school had the great fortune to make a connection with Sri Shantananda Saraswati, who was the Shankaracharya of the North and the leader of this school, would go and ask him questions. He wasn't preached at him, he wasn't trying to convert him. He said, in fact, better understand your own tradition. And so, in this school, we studied more Christianity from a more deeper basis, the Platonic tradition of philosophy, which is, someone said, all Western philosophy is a footnote to Plato. You see, because it was the start, the core. And then you begin to see the commonalities.
Absolutely.
So when you make bridges, when you open up and try to understand someone else's view, you can learn a great deal from that about your, and it's not even your own tradition, it's about the truth. It's about the one truth.
Without doubt. We're
Yes.
going to talk about competition, and that is something we nurture our children on the spirit of competition.
Yes.
And we say it's critical for success.
Yes.
So right now we're going to go in for a short break. When we come back, Paul, we're going to dwell on this and a lot more. You stay with us. We'll be back.
हर नई सफेद कमीज,
कुर्ती कुर्ता थोड़ी धुलाई के बाद येलो पड़ जाती है
और फिर हम चाहे इसे कितना भी धो ले, कितना भी घिस ले, पसीना बहा ले, वो पीली की पीली येलो ही रह जाती है।
सोच बदलनी हो तो साबुन बदलो। नया रिनबा, एकमात्र साबुन येलो फाइटर्स के साथ एक ही झटके में पीलापन हटाए।
यामी जी, चैलेंज। मेरी नई क्रीम घंटों चलती। फेयर एंड लवली चल पाएगी?
घंटों क्यों, पूरे एक दिन तक देखते हैं। लगी शर्त।
सपना जी के आधे चेहरे पर उनकी क्रीम और आधे पर फेयर एंड लवली। 1 मिनट बाद फेयर एंड लवली अनबीटेबल। न सिर्फ 6 या 12 घंटे, पूरे एक दिन तक फेयर एंड लवली का ग्लो अनबीटेबल।
इंस्टेंट निखार 1 मिनट में और ग्लो पूरे एक दिन तक। वैसे कितने की शर्त लगाई थी?
फेयर एंड लवली सिर्फ क्रीम नहीं, एक्सपर्ट ट्रीटमेंट।
क्या आप अपना डव शैम्पू लौटाएंगी?
नो चांस। डव लौटाना मतलब हेयर फॉल का लौटाना।
हेयर फॉल मतलब हेयर डैमेज। नया डव दे 50% ज्यादा पोषण। डैमेज बालों को रिपेयर करे।
अपना डव लौटाऊं? कभी नहीं।
नया डव शैम्पू आपके बालों के लिए अनमोल है। मेरी फिटनेस का सीक्रेट प्रिया गोल्ड मारी लाइट बिस्किट, जो है 89.9% फैट फ्री। लाइट खाओ, लाइट रहो।
हम जल्दी वापस आ जाएंगे, ओके? मेरे जूते। अरे इसके हाथों ने तो कमाल कर दिया।
तुम्हारे हाथों का काम तो बढ़ा दिया।
नहीं माँ, इजी है। सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वॉश, ये तुरंत खुले और इसके 10 हाथों की शक्ति जिद्दी दाग आसानी से निकाले।
पापा को भी चाहिए 10 साथ।
सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वॉश।
संजू इधर। अरे यार मम्मी, केक देखा तो फुल अटैक।
संजू केक, दांत सड़ जाएंगे। अगर आपका टूथपेस्ट अभी बेहतर अटैक कर रहा होता तो आपको अटैक नहीं करना पड़ता।
ब्रशिंग के बाद जर्म्स का अटैक फिर से शुरू। नतीजा कैविटीज। नया पेप्सोडेंट जोमी चेक घंटों बाद भी दे 130% जर्म अटैक पावर।
तो बेटर क्या है?
नया पेप्सोडेंट जोमी चेक 130% जर्म अटैक पावर। अब पाइए 3 ब्रीज साबुन के साथ 1 ब्रीज साबुन फ्री।
मम्मी, मैं
तो टॉस करें हेड्स या टेल्स। अब खुले बालों का भी गिरना मना है, सिर्फ 1 रुपए में।
क्लिनिक प्लस शैम्पू में है मिल्क प्रोटीन फॉर्मूला, जो बनाए बालों को मजबूत।
मम्मी खुले बाल।
क्लिनिक प्लस, सिर्फ 1 रुपए में खुले बालों का गिरना मना है।
भाभी जी, हमारी पत्नी जी कहती हैं कि महक से पता चलता है कि कपड़े साफ हुए कि नहीं।
महक से।
नया व्हील, इसमें है नींबू की शक्ति और हजारों फूलों की महक। ये है सफाई और ये सफाई की महक।
नया व्हील, सफाई वही जो महके।
हर नई सफेद कमीज,
कुर्ती कुर्ता थोड़ी धुलाई के बाद येलो पड़ जाती
और
है।
फिर हम चाहे इसे कितना भी धो ले, कितना भी घिस ले, पसीना बहा ले, वो पीली की पीली येलो ही रह जाती है।
सोच बदलनी हो तो साबुन बदलो। नया रिनबा, एकमात्र साबुन येलो फाइटर्स के साथ एक ही झटके में पीलापन हटाए।
क्या आप अपना डव शैम्पू लौटाएंगी?
नो चांस। कभी नहीं।
क्यों लौटाऊं? डव लौटाना मतलब स्मूथनेस लौटाना। नया डव दे 50% ज्यादा पोषण। इसमें है 1/4 मॉइस्चराइजिंग मिल्क। ये डैमेज बालों को रिपेयर करे और उन्हें बनाए स्मूथ। नया डव शैम्पू आपके बालों के लिए अनमोल है।
तोड़े नहीं, जोड़े। मैं श्रवण गिरी राहुल गांधी जी की इस एक सूत्र में जोड़ती विचारधारा से जुड़ा एक कांग्रेस कार्यकर्ता हूं।
हर हाथ शक्ति, हर हाथ तरक्की।
यामी जी, चैलेंज। मेरी नई क्रीम घंटों चलती। फेयर एंड लवली चल पाएगी?
घंटों क्यों, पूरे एक दिन तक देखते हैं। लगी शर्त।
सपना जी के आधे चेहरे पर उनकी क्रीम और आधे पर फेयर एंड लवली। 1 मिनट बाद फेयर एंड लवली अनबीटेबल। ना सिर्फ 6 या 12 घंटे, पूरे एक दिन तक फेयर एंड लवली का ग्लो अनबीटेबल।
इंस्टेंट निखार 1 मिनट में और ग्लो पूरे एक दिन तक। वैसे कितने की शर्त लगाई थी?
फेयर एंड लवली सिर्फ क्रीम नहीं, एक्सपर्ट ट्रीटमेंट।
हम जल्दी वापस आ जाएंगे, ओके? मेरे जूते। अरे इसके हाथों ने तो कमाल कर दिया।
तुम्हारे हाथों का काम तो बढ़ा दिया। नहीं माँ, इजी है। सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वॉश, ये तुरंत खुले और इसके 10 हाथों की शक्ति जिद्दी दाग आसानी से निकाले।
पापा को भी चाहिए 10 हाथ।
सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वॉश।
मम्मी, मैं
तो टॉस करें हेड्स या टेल्स। अब खुले बालों का भी गिरना मना है, सिर्फ 1 रुपए में।
क्लिनिक प्लस शैम्पू में है मिल्क प्रोटीन फॉर्मूला जो बनाए बालों को मजबूत।
मम्मी खुले बाल।
क्लिनिक प्लस, सिर्फ 1 रुपए में खुले बालों का गिरना मना है।
मस्ती करने को तैयार,
शरारत वाली जोड़ी।
राइट।
रूठना मनाना हर बार।
लड़ाई वाली जोड़ी,
देखे सपने हम दो चार।
विश वाली जोड़ी।
और ये फ्रेशनेस जोड़ी। 50 ग्राम क्लोजअप टूथपेस्ट और टूथब्रश का जोड़ी पैक सिर्फ 24 रुपए में, ताकि इन जोड़ियों की फ्रेशनेस बरकरार रहे।
फेयर एंड लवली 1 मिनट पार्लर लाइक क्लीन अप अब सिर्फ 15 रुपए में।
फेयर एंड लवली फेस वॉश अब सिर्फ 15 रुपए में।
रोहन किधर है?
सर वो नहीं आएगा, उसकी मैचिंग यूनिफॉर्म जो पुरानी है। नई शर्ट नहीं, पुरानी।
नया रिन कपड़ों में लौटा है नई जैसी सफेदी।
और जगह छीनी नहीं जाती, बनानी पड़ती।
Welcome back. We are still in conversation with Paul Palmarozza, who is not only a builder of bridges, but has a deep connect of body, mind and spirit systems. Paul, talking of competition.
Yes.
How do you see that?
Well, as I said, being brought up in America where competition was very strong, when I moved to Europe, I had said I'm going to try and back off from that. But just to give you an example of what happened, a fellow American invited me to his house, and I was there just in the first 2-3 months. Because I was reacting. Because in competition, if you lose, you're less of a person. And that's the area we need to be careful of. And I think in one of the areas in China, it's even worse than America or here because of the one-child policy. The pressure that's put on the children to succeed, it's excessive. And they're beginning to acknowledge that now, because of the number of suicides of young people.
Okay.
So it can go that far, and it really does need. On the other hand, you have to be willing to take up a challenge. You can't just say, oh, I can't do it. In fact, as I mentioned, this lessons that this person learned was when I was told, don't bother, you can't make it. And I would say, you know, India is a very interesting situation now. There are 500 million young people under 25 in India.
True.
The average age is 25, as I've heard. In China, it's 37. In Europe, it's 36 or 37. America, 35. That great potential energy, changes have to happen in cities so that that energy can be channeled. And the young people have to be given enough encouragement to go for it. And when they do meet that challenge, it will be a tremendous inspiration for the whole world. And certainly would be a great uplift for the country.
All right. You know, you build bridges of different things across the world, and
Yes.
emotions and body and spirit.
Yes.
This is being talked of India's demographic dividend. Other countries and nations have reaped it in their own time. Can we ever see this as a demographic dividend for the rest of the world? We can't at the moment because there are limitations to the mobility of labor across the world. Capital travels, but labor has restrictions. So how we see individual resources across the world, do you think the world is coming to a stage where we are able to see our strengths collectively and our opportunities or challenges collectively?
Very good question. I would say what has happened with new technologies, is it's created a new situation that is opening up new possibilities. I can give you an idea. The small company that I started was in training because I started my career working in computers, and but gradually I wanted to go more towards the training and the teaching,
Right.
my real interest. And we did an e-learning program. I was one of the first people that had, early in the 1970s, were involved in that with computers.
Okay.
And then we said, okay, we have this program to train people on the basics of finance because it's a core subject for the non-financial managers to be successful in business. Well, we had it in 9 languages. And you know, a small company of 5 or 6 people operating globally. So that was one aspect. Now, I've done some research about cycles of cultures. Now, it turns out that this is my personal view,
Okay.
that there's about a 900-year cycle. So if we look at the West, and you start with 500 BC, with the Greeks and then the Romans, to 400 AD, it's a cycle. They rose up, ruled the world, decadence. And then the West had to go into a more inward cycle. It's called the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, but in effect it was the monastic movement was the ruling element. Hundreds of thousands of people meditating, contemplating in Europe, 400 to 1300. Now, even in 1100 there were 1,000 monasteries in the UK alone. Now, at that time, going inside, 3 cultures were rising. The Arabs, the Chinese, and the Indian. They rose in their own way, but in an isolated way. The West didn't know what was happening in those cultures. They rose, Shankara here, the Tang dynasties, and you know, it was marvelous. You had Muhammad having an empire almost equal to the Roman Empire. Then, West, Renaissance, rebirth, goes up, becomes the ruling element in terms of culture, apparently. In an arrogance, can look upon Indians, Chinese, and Arabs as peasants. You know, this arrogance. So that's 1300 to 2200. And it could be less than that, you see. But what's happening is, in my observation, is the energy in the world, the fine energy, it's in India, it's in China, it's in these Arab countries. They're ready for their cycle. Now, when you step back, this is just humanity. Forget about whether you're Indian or Western. It's the cycle of humanity. And it seems to this person is the West needs to go inside. They've been too long in this materialistic, consumer-oriented culture, and they'll discover that happiness won't come from there. Happiness is somewhere else. Now, it doesn't mean, and this is the difference, it doesn't mean that in the West they have to go into monasteries.
Yes.
Because of the cross-connection between technology, mobility, people moving, it's going to be more blended. The East and the West, as we said, will learn from each other, lessons will be taken. But I would say that the Chinese, the Indian spiritual cultures, which are very rich, extremely rich, will come more to the fore. And this is where some of the work that I've been involved in the Sanskrit language, for example. Sanskrit language is so rich, it's the actual source of all the Indo-European languages.
So what's the cause, what's the trigger point for your passion for Sanskrit?
Well, initially I studied it again in this school in order to have access to the Bhagavad Gita.
You didn't want to read the Gita in your own language?
I did, but I thought I could go deeper with it. And in fact, interesting development, when I was in Europe and working for this company, at one point they said, we're closing the Brussels office, we're going to run this European operation from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you can be a director, and we're going to all go back. They looked at me and they said, okay, what do you want to do? Because by that time I had introduced this new business, computer-based training, and I said, I would like to study education and learn more about how technology could be used. Building a bridge again. So they said, yes, well, maybe we can get you into a university, a program in Minneapolis. It wasn't right. So a friend of mine, just out of the blue, said, Oxford University has their education studies department. They might be interested. So I wrote a letter to Oxford University, their education department, saying, I don't know very much about education, I know about technology, and I'd like to study this. Now normally that wouldn't necessarily evoke a great response. But what happened was, they received a letter almost the same week from the Department of Education of the UK, saying, could you help advise us on the new computer-assisted learning policy we're trying to develop? So they see these two letters, invite me in, and the person interviewed me was a Platonist. He studied Plato in education, wrote a book.
So that's the philosophy.
John Wilson, the philosophy. So we hit it off and they said, we will accept you on a one-year program along with headmasters who are on sabbatical, and you can interface with them and you can study, with them for a diploma degree. So I thought, oh, isn't this interesting? So I went back to the company and said, this is what's on offer. They said, you take that, you're on your own. So now I had been with them for 16 years.
Okay.
When I joined them, there were 2,600 employees. There were then 50,000 employees. It was a big expansion, and I was, part of that. But intuition said, no, I think I have to do that. Okay. So I came over, and through all sorts of propitious circumstances, there was a flat ready for me, a place I could live. And I moved to the UK, went on this course, and decided computers were not for education, not for the education of young people. It was for training. But not give it for 8, 9, 10-year-old children. It wasn't ready for that. That wasn't the right way.
I'm going to make a move towards another short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what a lot of us struggle with, and you seem to do it fairly effortlessly now, is this, you suddenly say, that decision, this doesn't feel right. This intuition. How do we respect it? How do we understand it? How do we let it lead us? And how do we not let it mislead us? We'll talk about all that and a lot more. Stay with us.
हर नई सफेद कमीज,
कुर्ती, कुर्ता थोड़ी धुलाई के बाद येलो पड़ जाती
और फिर हम चाहे इसे कितना भी धो ले, कितना भी घिस ले, पसीना बहा ले, वो पीली की पीली येलो ही रह जाती।
सोच बदलनी हो तो साबुन बदलो। नया रिन बार, एकमात्र साबुन येलो फाइटर्स के साथ एक ही झटके में पीलापन हटाए।
क्या आप अपना डव शैम्पू लौटाएंगी?
नो चांस। डव लौटाना मतलब हेयर फॉल का लौटाना।
हेयर फॉल मतलब हेयर डैमेज। नया डव दे 50% ज्यादा पोषण, डैमेज बालों को रिपेयर करे।
अपना डव लौटाऊं? कभी नहीं।
नया डव शैम्पू आपके बालों के लिए अनमोल है।
दीदी कितनी शाय है ना।
वो तो है।
दीदी अपने हर बॉयफ्रेंड से ऐसी ही शर्माती है।
प्रिया गोल्ड CNC, मीठे में नमकीन का ट्विस्ट।
यामी जी, चैलेंज, मेरी नई क्रीम घंटों चलती। फेयर एंड लवली चल पाएगी?
घंटों क्यों, पूरे एक दिन तक देखते हैं। लगी शर्त।
सपना जी के आधे चेहरे पर उनकी क्रीम और आधे पर फेयर एंड लवली। 1 मिनट बाद फेयर एंड लवली अनबीटेबल। ना सिर्फ 6 या 12 घंटे, पूरे एक दिन तक फेयर एंड लवली का ग्लो अनबीटेबल।
इंस्टेंट निखार 1 मिनट में और ग्लो पूरे एक दिन तक। वैसे कितने की शर्त लगाई थी?
फेयर एंड लवली सिर्फ क्रीम नहीं, एक्सपर्ट ट्रीटमेंट।
कितने रंगीन नजारे हैं, खुश है कि ये
इतनी सब चीजें क्यों? मम्मी को बोलो सिर्फ ये काफी है।
नया सर्फ एक्सेल बार, इसमें है नील, ब्लीच, नींबू और विनेगर की शक्ति।
किराए पे कमरा मिलेगा?
मॉडर्न किराएदार नहीं चाहिए।
नमस्ते।
एक हाई क्लास घर।
हाय।
कोई भी हेयर स्टाइल करो, अगर बाल हो घने और लंबे, इसलिए सनसिल्क थिक एंड लॉन्ग, जिसमें है योगर्ट प्रोटीन,
जो बालों को 2 गुना घना बनाए। 2 गुने घने बाल अब 1 रुपए में। अब सनसिल्क के 1 रुपए सैशे पर पाइए 20% एक्स्ट्रा बिल्कुल मुफ्त। सर्दियों में रूखी त्वचा को आम देखभाल से चाहिए कुछ ज्यादा, उसे चाहिए हीलिंग।
Companion, and it's been a companion you've respected.
Yes.
A lot of us have that companion, we just don't seem to listen to it.
Yes. Well, I think that, again, once you've trusted something, you've been able to step into the unknown, going back to abhaya, is fearlessness. It's the first step, and it also requires trust in yourself. Now, in philosophy, in this approach, it says, be in the present moment. Now, the past is memory, and we store up memory, and you can respond to something from the past. Or the future is imagination. It hasn't happened, you're imagining what it might be, which is the reason that fear, all fear, is based on the future, what might happen. You see. Now, if you come into the present, what is said, and again, once you taste and experience, is the knowledge is available, the consciousness is available. So you look, and in the present, all your attention and consciousness is there. You've got a much better chance to make a good decision, a decision that's right for the moment. So the present is a great gift.
Absolutely.
The present moment is a great gift. So more and more now, even in business, things like mindfulness are being used and introduced as ways to make better decisions. And in our philosophy in business, we came to the point of ethical decision making, making the right decision. And in order to demonstrate this, we developed some drama-based training to try and engage people a bit more. So they are put in a situation using beautiful dramatic situations,
Okay.
real-life situations, and then it stops and says, now what would you do? Now, we advocate them coming into the present, coming still, ask the question, what's the principle here, as part of your equation, then being still, and then seeing what arises. And when we've practiced this with people, sometimes it amazes themselves what comes out. And we ask them, where did that come from? It just came. It was the